Okay. Oh, there's Kellyanne. Hello. So we are in Teachaid. Leslie's used Teachaid. Danielle has as a social studies teacher, but maybe that's it. So Teachaid is a tool. We talked about how we had a pilot in the spring. Leslie was part of that. Danielle has used it probably for a little bit for social studies. So in a nutshell, Teachaid is a tool that helps us save time as teachers because it creates unit plans and lesson plans, and it's based on the Alberta curriculum. So we're going to dive in right away and take a look at that. Even better, we've got them to put the draft social studies curriculum in. So lots of platforms won't put that in yet because it's not official. Teachaid has done that for us because we've convinced them that it would be really super beneficial for pilot teachers. And then basically what happens is you create your lesson, and we're going to take a look at how to go ahead and use that. So what it does is it basically starts with backward design. It starts with the end in mind. You pick your final project, and then it will go through and create that, and then it'll give you lessons that you will create as you go. Now, when we scheduled Teachaid to be part of our session, it had more content that was available for free. And so what I've noticed just recently is that they have put a lot of their content behind a paywall, which is really too bad. So today I have the premium version, and anyone that's involved in the social studies pilot will also have the free version. Nadeem Al-Jabbar is the CEO of Teachaid, and so I convinced him that we should that he could, because we've helped him out in the past, that he could let our piloting social studies teachers have a free version of the premium Teachaid. So I think that's Danielle. Will Amber, are you piloting? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm piloting 2 and 3.
2 and 3, and so you should have the premium version, and I don't think Rebecca is. But so your version will look a little different, and unfortunately what I've noticed is they have put more items behind paywall. So let's take a look. I'm just going to go through and we'll take a look at the landscape here. So pretty much that purple button right here.
Cami, I never did get the premium. It
You
never did.
No. Who's that, Danielle?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Can you send me an email and remind me of that, and I'll check.
Can do.
I don't know. I hope I can still make that happen. I'll do my best. All right. So this is what it's going to look like. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with create new. Now, Danielle is grade 3. Amber's grade 3. We're going to focus on grade 3 today. So I'm going to go to create new. Now we have two options here. We have create a full unit or create a lesson plan. And we're actually going to start with the full unit today, just so you can kind of see the big power. I see this as a tool. There's a couple things. First of all, it's a Canadian company, so we have Canadian content available. There's lots of different lesson planning tools out there. You can go to Magic School or School AI or other platforms, ChatGPT even, and say, give me a lesson plan or create a unit plan. And it will do that for you. However, I hope that you'll see today that this one really has pedagogy at the forefront. And so it actually leads us through a pedagogical process of lesson creation. So we're just going to pick here the full unit. Now you can see at the bottom, you could just do a final assessment rubric. A rubric is actually under their paid section now. Interactivity. So if you wanted something specific, you can now do individual pieces, but we're going to go ahead and ask it to create a full unit. So we get this slide right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick my curriculum. Now, this just is so exciting every time. I get to pick Alberta. Oh, it is. And then I'm going to go to grade 3. And then look at this. We're going to pick science. Social studies or science? Let's go social, because I think Danielle and Amber are both piloting. So we're going to go to social. And now I'm going to go next step. And I want to pick, ladies, which area we're going to pick one of these. Whoever turns their mic on and I hear first, we're going to pick that one.
Communities.
Communities. Okay, so communities and citizenship, we're going to click on that. And so we are going to say, is there anything specific you want to know? So focus on some Canadian communities, maybe. Anything else you want to tie in there? We don't have to put anything, but sometimes a little guidance helps.
Yeah, grade 3 is just all of Alberta. So
All of Alberta? Okay.
Grade 2 is all of Canada, and both of them get into government structures.
Okay. So grade 3 is Alberta now, not grade 4. I knew that. Okay. All right. So we'll just go focus on some Alberta communities. Okay. So now look at this. We are going to go, I'm going to click all of these. So this is going to be the communities in the world. Do we want all three? Or do we want 3.1 and 3? This looks like the old curriculum, doesn't it? This is the old curriculum.
Yeah, 'cause
Indonesia,
I
Peru.
think
I
there should
picked the
only be,
wrong
like,
one. Yeah, sorry. Let's try again. Social studies. I need
It doesn't
new
say.
social
Oh,
studies.
there it is at the bottom.
I didn't scroll. Okay, this is going to be better. I'm like, this isn't right. Okay, now this is right. Here we go. Let's go systems. Or no, citizenship, we said. Okay, Alberta's identity. Let's click on, let's just do this one, Alberta's identity, 3 of 3. So we could click both, but that gives us a lot of content, and we'll just maybe do a smaller unit right here. So I've got this section. So are you noticing that this is directly from the knowledge strand of the curriculum? And so if you're looking at this, if you open up New Learn Alberta, you'll notice that these are like pulled right from the curriculum. They've had a little update to how it looks. It's a little different than when I was in here a couple weeks ago. So assessment type, we get to pick what we would like. And so do you want to do a podcast or a video? Do you want a presentation? We are not going to pick unit test. What interests you? Alberta communities.
Presentation, probably.
This goes something kind of standard-ish. All right. Presentation. Okay. And I'll click off of that. So here, enter a final assessment description. So we want focus on, let's maybe say focus on a single community. We have Chromebooks, Google Slides, Canva, that you may or may not use with grade 3, but we'll tell it what we can and see what happens. Now you can also, if we go to, I think it's in this one, additional assessment, you could also choose to have it cross-curricular. And so you could take your social studies and align it with your language arts strands as well. I think that's coming up. So let's say that section might be six or 7 days. Is that about right? How many lessons? Longer, shorter?
That's good.
Okay. Amber, how long are classes at Burdett? 40?
45 mostly.
45 mostly. Okay. I think they're a little shorter at IF Cox. We'll go 45. And now it's English. We'll just leave this blank. Oh my goodness. An error. Okay.
Is it internet related? Because the internet's terrible today.
Is it internet related? Mrs. Nixdorf wants to know. It seemed like it could be. We'll try one more time here.
It could be a Teachaid problem. I can't even sign in right now.
Okay. All right. Well, wouldn't that be something? Chromebooks. I do have plan B. Canva. 7 units, 45 minutes. We'll try this one more time. Next step. Okay, we didn't get, so it gives us an overview screen. We didn't get this far last time. Here's our expectations. And so we picked just that one. Whoopsie. And then it's got the 3 down here. We're going to pick all of these. Those are the ones from that curriculum item, 745. Now, here's where it lets us pick cross-curricular. So if I chose to, I could click here, and then it would do the same thing. Grade 3, I could go language arts, and then it has all of the strands. So if there's a strand that you're specifically working on, I could pick the strand, and then it will drill down. So I love that it drills down into both of those curriculums, and so you can really do some nice crossovers there, which sometimes that might be the only way that you get social studies done, is if you're creating social studies reading content to do for your language arts classes. So I'm going to click out of here, the cross-curricular option. But it will certainly do that, and I want you to see that. We've got a final assessment type as presentation. This is the pieces that we've got, and now I'm going to click add final assessment. Nope. That's a new button. I should not have clicked that. That would be if I wanted a second thing. So a presentation and then a unit test. I'm not going to do that. Generate unit. Okay, so it generates up here, and they've kind of given us some wayfinding. So they're adding some sugar, researching the subject. All right, and so you'll notice that there's some tabs up at the top: unit plan, final assessment, lesson activities and materials. And now it's going to load. So it gives us an overview of the content, basically summarizing it from the curriculum. And then it gives us learning goals. So students will analyze Alberta's identity. And it tells us some lessons. Briefly look at this. We've kind of got a breakdown, lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, explain traditions. And it says these are the lessons we think we're going to do that in. Develop ideas to protect and promote identity. So it's given us an overview. And also this is actually new, where it's telling us what lessons each of those things is touched on. Now, those are the teacher-facing goals, which are also editable. But look at this. Here's our I can statements. And so it gives us student-facing I can statements. So I can identify and describe how the Rocky Mountains and rivers shape identity. I can list and explain unique traditions. I can brainstorm. I can explore and recognize. Kelly, you could open that door probably.
It was just really
Yeah. And so then it also gives us some keywords. Now, I could go right into the curriculum as well and check it out. I maybe want to add some more. I can regenerate here, and I can also edit. So if I had more that I wanted to add, I could just click edit and I could add those. All right, now that's kind of the overview. This next part, remember I said we lead with the assessment. And so here it says for this final assessment, students will create a dynamic presentation using Canva. That captures the essence of Alberta's identity. Utilizing Chromebooks and Google Drive, each student will complete multimedia events such as maps, photos, and recorded interviews. Okay, so this, you might be thinking, wow, this is a lot for grade 3, but it will help us break it down. So what it does is it gives us final assessment instructions. And so this would be the page that you would print, for example. So, hey, amazing students, it's time for our final project. This is what you'll do. Now, notice how it breaks it into steps. 1, research and gather information. And so it's giving us pretty specific information here, the steps that we need to take for this final presentation. And so number 1 is research. Step 2 is compile media, multimedia events. So you can see find maps and photos. It says things like save them to your Google Drive. So it's giving us some organization and some executive function pieces there. Conduct interviews. And it's, talking about tools like voice recorder, Chromebook, or write down the process. That it talks about Canva. Let's see how it does here. Open Canva, log in using your Chromebook. Add information and pictures. Now, as a teacher, you might change this because maybe you have a template that you want them to use. And so this is all editable. You could go in and you could say, open the template from your teacher and change all of that. It gives examples. You might have a slide called the Majestic Rocky Mountains. And so it even gives some ideas about what they could include. Review and practice. share your presentation, save and submit. And then I love this part. This is a student-facing checklist, and every final assessment has these. So what are students going to do? So this is the student-facing. They could have that other handout that you're going to give them, but this is, did I do these things? Check, 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 check. And so it's got a nice student-facing presentation that's already there. Now, unfortunately, the marking rubric is behind the paywall. However, we have access to lots of free AI tools, ChatGPT. We now have Gemini in our Google Drive. That's just like 2 days old. And we now have, we also have free access to School AI and Magic School. And so you could take this, copy and paste all this and ask for a rubric to be created in one of those other tools. But we'll see what it looks like here. So I clicked on make a rubric, 4 levels. I can add a criteria. So this has knowledge and understanding, thinking, communication, application. I can add a criteria at the bottom. So down here, I could add another one. Let's say presentation. Let's call this presentation skills maybe, hey? I'm gonna click over here to edit. Oh, that disappeared on me. Okay, every time I go to type, it disappears. So it could just be something with my computer today. We'll delete that guy. But we can add criteria. You can regenerate. You can add different levels. And then you can download that as a PDF. So any of the language here, you'll notice it's really specific. It talks about Alberta's identity, geographic, cultural, historical. So it's really taken the content and baked it into the rubric. So I'll just close that. That's the final piece. Now, we haven't even gotten to the good part yet. Lessons and interactive materials. This is where I think Teachaid does a really nice job. So what happens here is I'm going to pick open interactive lessons. So it's given me, like if I scroll down here, it says lesson 1. There's an overview, learning goals. So fewer than we saw with the final assessment. Some success criteria, but fewer. So this is like the front matter of the lesson. But it also has generated for us materials. So I'm going to use the auto-generate version. And you can see on the left-hand side, it's doing its magic over here. And it starts off with introduction, a single slide. Now, a couple pieces here. So far, Teachaid has not added Google or Microsoft capabilities. So at this point, the slides don't pop. You can't export to Google Drive, or sorry, to Google Slides or to Microsoft. It just, the download is a PDF. And to some extent, they're quite simple to start with, but we'll kind of talk about what we get here. So this is just an open slide. Now, we've got these activities here. So it says, click here to create your first activity. So I'm going to take a look at this slide. It says, what makes Alberta special? And then if you look right down at the bottom of my screen, it's got instructions. So it tells us what to do, and then it's going to give us speaker notes. So there's questions, all the things that we would typically need to know, the content, it's baked into the speaker notes there. Now, it also has for this one a teaching resource. So I'm going to open this up. And so it says key information about the topic. I'm going to click that. So we've got 2 things going on here. We've got a teacher presentation, and then it also creates the handouts, the pieces to go along with that. So this is an overview. I would say, I don't know, looking at this, it might be a student-facing or a teacher overview. So you could use this as your textbook page. You can see that we can move these around. We can change the order if we like. We can delete any of these, but they are coming directly from our curriculum. All right, so that is part of that mini lesson. I'm going to come back to the presentation. Oh, actually, just this part gets a little confusing. So you've got the presentation tab. Can you see on the left, it says presentation. So if I click on here, it takes me back to my presentation. So my intro slide, and then it's got a mini lesson. So it's got what is identity, and then the instructions, Alberta's geography. Now you'll notice here that this slide is pretty bland. It doesn't have pictures. We can come up here. Oh, I thought you told me to stop.
No,
Okay.
5 minutes.
Yeah, sorry, that looked like stop. Okay. Now I have to find back where I was. Okay, so we could add images and videos. So I'm going to say up here, it's actually reading my piece. So I could click change layout. And so it's added a topographical map. Let's see what else it might give us here. Here's a picture of mountains, right? So what it does is it is generating, basically it's got a built-in search here. So it's already using the information from my lesson. And so it's giving me safe Google image searches. So these are Creative Commons licensing that it's pulling from. I could also add a video. Let's add a video for the next one here. So Alberta's culture, let's try add videos. Let's go to YouTube this time. Kids enjoying Alberta, meet Calgary. This is a tough one to just Royal Alberta Museum. Let's add this. We'll create a new slide. Now, I would say that you should never add a video without checking it. That's kind of the tough part here is you kind of have to add it to check it. I don't think you can run it without like outside of it just to preview it. So that's too bad. I would just open a new tab and find that, but pops a video into a new one there. Let's see. Does it open? Okay. All right. So I can preview it right there. So you can see here that it's got our slides. We can add pictures or videos as we would like. And then again, for all of them, it has really nice speaker notes. So for example, this one, it says Alberta's history is rich and diverse, talks about First Nations, discovery of oil in 1947 and changed Alberta by increasing the population. So this is a nice grade 3 level basics, but it's got kind of the content in there as well. So you could use that speaker note to build it out if you wanted. Now let's go back to the resources and see what we have here. So for our mini lesson, we already clicked the key information about the topic. A discussion guide we could generate for the intro activity. I missed that one. So this would be like those guiding questions, what about, what do you think? What do you know? Kind of some wondering probing. So it's got anticipated answers along with the questions and then some additional questions. So here's the part where the pieces that it gives us are really curricularly based, and they're basing it on some good pedagogical practice. We've got some more mini lesson resources here. Here's a student action sheet. So I'll just pop this one open. Draw a picture of something special in Alberta, write a few sentences about why it's important. So there's the part for the picture, and then some room to draw, and we can add section. We could add images. So we can, if we wanted to add an image here, we could pop that in there. We could add that as well. Close resource media library. So we can do some adding. I would say that it's I think, Leslie, you would probably agree that since we did this back in January, it's really built out a lot. But it still has a way to go. So here's a student action slide. We just ran that worksheet. And then at the end is a consolidation or a closing slide. And it has a resource here as well, another discussion guide to close. So those are the pieces. We have a little bit of differentiation, a couple things up here. So I'm right at the left-hand panel. There's some small group pieces. So we could add group activities, reading response, worksheets, writing tasks, debate. So we can ask it for specific things. And then there's also some individual type responses that we could add as well. And I'm just going to back out of here. The other thing is that we often ask is about, oh, I keep going too far, that slide deck. And it isn't super editable. We can't, like, I can come in here and I can add more text, right? So I can edit these, but what I can't do is really change the shape of the text box and move it around like I might construct a slide. So I can add images into their placeholder. I can change the text, but it's fairly rudimentary there. I can change the theme. So there's some different, I could go light mode. I have some different text that I can add. I can change the theme of the slide a little bit, but I still am basically locked into whatever their placeholders are. So the editableness is not like Canva or using Google Slides. I think that'll come, but at this point, if you need a lesson for tomorrow and you've never taught a curriculum before and you don't have any textbooks, Teachaid is a great place to get started there. So that is, let's see, what else have I not talked about? We can download, oh, my goodness. This is new. Where's Kaylee Dukeshire? I'm just going to come over here and put them. Okay, I'm really curious to see what these look like. So it looks like it's going to download it in PowerPoint. I'm not sure if I asked for that or not.
Yeah,
Well, I thought I'd chose slides, but it just gave me PowerPoint, and I don't want to take the time to do that. But when you click a new button, you probably can't see my picture, can you? The PowerPoint, can you? Because I didn't share that, so it's a new window. So yeah, it looks like a PowerPoint, and then it's got extra editability of a PowerPoint. What happens though is actually, this is worth sharing real quick. I'm going to flip this, present something else. Okay, I'm gonna share because it'll be the same as slides. Can you see my PowerPoint now?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens? What I can see when I click on this that it's actually not. I can edit, but it also is like this whole thing is an overlay. So it's kind of interesting how they've done that. So like can I move this around? Oh, I can. Hey, that's better than I thought. So all the things I said about it's really limited to their placeholders, they now have an export to PowerPoint and I think slides. It said slides. I must have clicked the wrong thing. But this is a game changer. Rebecca Drew and Tiffany, you have to ask Kaylee if she knows that you can move to PowerPoint or Google Slides, because I like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, last time we talked, I don't think it did this. So
and the units, you can download it.
We're on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're on it. Okay. So
yeah, I'm checking.
Oh, you did.
I just
Okay.
quickly went in to see if.
So all those sheets can be downloaded as docs.
Like
Okay. So that's a huge and new. Okay. Leslie and Danielle, who've used it, what would you add here? If you're still with us.
I am. Sorry, I'm upside down.
That's okay. Ooh, you are.
There you go. I think, this, I didn't know, because like I said, I kind of hadn't been in since playing around with it at the beginning of the year, but the ability to do the pictures in the different formats this is kind of game changing that you can do this now.
Yeah. So I've been waiting for this for a long time. I've said to Nadim, hey, like until you get a good export feature, it's great for ideas, but it's still work because I still have to kind of transport it to something else. Otherwise, you have to present right from within Teachaid, and it's limited there. So this is a game changer. Unfortunately, they have increased the paywall. So I know that for those of you that are on the free account right now, you're limited. You can't get to the rubric. You can't get to, I think, more than 5 lesson slides. So play around with it within. And this is a tool that I think as we have new curriculum, new science, new social, that I am hoping that we might have district access to. So we're working on it. All right. Oh, the download features are behind the paywall. Yeah. That which is the same for Magic School. It's the same for Diffit. It's the same for all of those tools. So because of our new curriculum and how Alberta aligned, we're really thinking that this might be super helpful. I know Kaylee's really said she couldn't do the pilot without it. That's what Kaylee's kind of said too. So, all right.
Yeah,
well,
I sat down with Kaylee at the beginning of the year, and she basically had her social planned in like 2 hours, right? And she's like, went from I have no idea where to start to, like that.
Yes. And so that, we will change and we will make it better. And just like when I lesson plan, oh, well, that didn't work very good, or that took too long, or I didn't like that'll happen. But at least I have something for tomorrow. At least I have a starting point. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to stop recording. Oh, actually, before I do that, I do want to come back to this and just a couple reminders in the slide deck, which we can put into the at some point. I'm going to put that. Let's see. Did I get that?
Hi, it's Cami, and
Woo!
we are going to talk about Teachaid.ca. Now, Teachaid is
Okay,
all
I don't know
about
how to turn her
curriculum and
off. Just a
pedagogy,
second.
lesson plans, and unit plans. We can ask ChatGPT or other educational AI tools to produce
I can't-
lessons.
okay.
And on first glance, it's kind of wow. But when you dig in,
I know,
I'm never
I know,
very
but I
satisfied
can't
with
get
them.
to
In
back
fact,
to
I
my
hardly
slide
ever use
deck.
them at all.
Woohoo.
The exception is going to be Teachaid, which I've found to be the best
Okay.
teaching and unit.
There we go. Sorry, I've got a few windows open and some extra things happening. Okay.
I'm so glad I'm not the only person that things like that happen to.
Yes. Well, yeah, there's lots of backstory. Okay. So I did miss. Okay. Oh, I thought I had some other slides here. Oh, are we missing some? Maybe they're hidden. So I wanted to show, well, just a second. Why is that happening? I wanted just to let you know that we have a playlist of all the Prairie Rose things. I'm just going to, they must be on hidden slides here. So we do have a playlist of all different things that we've done for Prairie Rose. So we've done Teachaid sessions before, Diffit sessions, Magic School, School AI. This is kind of our YouTube About AI playlist that we have. And since I can't get to the slide, I'll just pop that in the chat for you. We also have the link, if you haven't yet joined our About AI Google Classroom. Every time that you submit an item in the month that it's the task of the month, we send you $10. Some of you are getting rich. Haha. Yes, I know. You're not rich, but you get a few bucks. Oh yeah, these slides are hidden. That's why. And the last thing is a link to our, no, that's all. bit.ly PRPS AI3 takes you to our artificial intelligence page for our Google site where we have all of the things. And so you can take a look at that. I don't know, maybe that worked. Did that work? No. Haha, I just kicked myself out. But the recording's still going. So that's it. We've done a little propaganda at the end. We have lots of resources. Next week is Magic School. That's the last one that we're going to do for December, but we have a new lineup for after Christmas where we're going to look at some more tools. So thank you for joining our after school session. And we hope that you are learning about some new tools, getting some new ideas. We're so glad that you are joining us. And sometimes there's prizes. And next week, for sure, with Magic School, there will be prizes. And I don't have my spinner here, but we'll pick a prize from today and get that out to you as well. So happy Tuesday. And I'm going to stop recording. If you have questions, absolutely let us know.